matchups this weekend in Jacksonville include a big rivalry matchup between Nice and St. Augustine. Both teams remain undefeated until Friday night rolls around when they battle it out for the top spot at 7 o'clock. Over on the river, the Bishop Kenny Crusaders host Beachside. Both are coming off losses, fighting to get back into the winning column. You can hear the game live on 92.5 FM. Kickoff tomorrow at 7. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp bounced back in Game 2 of their series against the Gwinnett Stripers last night, winning 7-3. Game 3 will be tonight at 7:05. It's 85 degrees at 12 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time. What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Noon hour, XL Primetime. We get to sneak in early on a Thursday. You've got XL Primetime from now until 2. The Frangie Show, 2P to 4. And then Jaguars programming, including the Doug Peterson Show, as he will pop on the Superstation. So welcome in. It's a Thursday. You got ball tonight. You've got a lot of big college football games. I was just telling Tony a minute ago that we got to get into some of these ball games. In an SEC tilt with Tennessee and Oklahoma just doesn't sound right, but that's how it is going to be with now Oklahoma and Texas in the SEC. And I'm telling you, fellas, we're clinging to the month of September because there's only a couple of Saturdays left before we even get into, or we jump into October. Second month of college football.
Goes too fast, bro.
It does.
I mean, I remember the anticipation of week 0. Week 0 came here. Next thing you know, week 1.
What was it? Og 24?
Og 24, yeah. And then, week 0, the next thing you know, bro, we're going on 4 weeks in now, bro. Crazy.
And so, look, I can't let it get away from us because the NFL is just the behemoth. And, of course, the Jaguars start off 0-2. They are the biggest story, of course, so we will get back to them. But we're definitely going to feed you a little college football. But as we start our Corona Thursday, I'm just going to give you a little Corona call, get you fired up because you got ball tonight. And I'm doing that just to kind of help get your Thursday afternoon rolling in the right direction. Because if you were rolling on I-95 today, matter of fact, few of you got to hit us on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures because Dempsey went up 95 and got crushed and then had to turn around and go back to the home studio. And I came up US 1, and it was hellish. And so if you're out there or we're stuck out there, let us know because that 1010XL can serve as a nice little.
Was it just traffic accident? What was it?
I don't know what it was. That's what I'm curious about. So let us know if you were out there and you know what happened. 641-1010. But we're kind of like we're riding shotgun with a lot of people that are out there. So whatever it was and whatever you had to go through, let us know, and we'll try and shout some people out that were on the road this morning because when you're stuck in that and you can't get out of it, it is miserable. All right, so we will definitely talk some college ball, some Jaguar football today on a Corona Thursday. You can start your weekend with a Corona, put a lime in it, doesn't really matter. Corona Premier, Corona Extra, Corona Light. You can definitely enjoy all of them with all the ball that's coming. So I figured we would start off with a little Gator talk, and let's just set it up with a RJ, I think this is worth of that, even though this isn't like just happening. This is what is happening.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So let's just describe this as it's happening. It's going down. It's what the worst fear a Florida fan had going into this season is that not only would it not end well with Billy Napier, it would end early with Billy Vanilli. And that's what it's looking like because here we are. We haven't even touched October yet, and this man's going to be out of a job. And so as what's the best way to phrase this, Matt? As predicted or as worst fears realized, there you go. Worst fears realized that players less than 4 games into a college football season can basically opt out and save a year. And so I'm just telling everybody right now, it is
Wait, what are you trying to say? Are you connecting Trey Wilson's quote-unquote lower body injury with him opting out?
I'm just saying it is happening. I believe it to be happening.
All right.
Trey Wilson III, arguably the most talented player on the Florida football roster, is out against Mississippi State on Saturday. He was ruled out yesterday. Billy had no choice but basically to say, hey, we got to sit him down. He got hurt the week before against Samford, but now is out. And I can't help but think, Matt, that this is a
let me explain this for everyone, okay?
Protect me situation.
Let me explain this for everyone. So players can participate in 4 games and still protect their season of eligibility if they don't play again. So they can play up to 4 games in a season. So if you're wondering why Billy Napier hasn't been fired yet, well, I think it's Ken Fox, the interim president, is digging in. That's number one.
Yeah.
Because he loves Billy, and Billy's his guy, and he hired Billy. Number 2 is you're not going to fire him before the 4-game mark because if you don't wait till the 5-game mark, everybody's leaving. Not everybody. I would say you're going to get key guys that could help you in the future decide, nah, I'm going to pull out. I'm going to have an injury, and then I'm going to get in the portal. So, look, it's a delicate situation right now. It is. There's no doubt about it. Because once you do fire Billy, then the idea is, okay, who are you going to get? And Scott Strickland can go in front of the team and say, look, we're going to get the best possible coach here, which is what he'll do. Right?
That's what he hopes to do.
But you're at the point where you've got kids who now have the ability to leave with no penalty. They can just go. So they'll go in January. So that's the problem. And if your idea is you want Lane Kiffin, okay, which I think absolutely Lane Kiffin would be interested in this job. That's number one. Mm-hmm. If your idea is that you want him, you might have to wait a little bit because Lane's got a really good team. And if Lane gets in the playoff and he wins a couple games, you're starting to talk about mid-January. And if something really funky happens and Lane's team gets hot and they get to the national championship game, that's January 20th.
Seems like it may not
And
happen.
then if something massively funky happens and Lane's team wins the national title, he ain't leaving.
There aren't too many that would leave after that.
So now you're all the way out there in late January without a coach. So there's a lot of factors going on right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, what's even crazier that these kids, you're telling me now these kids, after 4 games, they can bounce.
They can shut it down
and go to another team.
No, they can't play for another school, but they can shut down the season
and
still preserve their year of eligibility.
Okay, so they can wait till next year to transfer.
So Trey Wilson is a sophomore.
Yeah.
He could literally, and I'm not saying this is what he's doing. This is Joe's conspiracy tinfoil hat, okay? Let's just say anyone who liked Trey Wilson is whatever you want to say, injured, not injured, whatever. If they feel like they don't want to play anymore and they still want to keep that year of eligibility, then you just stop playing after 4 games.
You just shut it down.
Yeah.
But the mess that's being made, that's called Florida, he had something to do with it, did he not?
Yeah, he did.
But I mean, yeah, you can certainly say that. Sure, he's one of the players. Yeah.
I mean, he won the house.
I mean, he's their best player. He's pretty good.
I don't care. He went in the house.
Remember this
he trashed it, helped trash it, and now he wants to leave.
I don't know if he helped trash it. He was probably the guy. He's probably like Kevin Bacon in Animal House saying, "Oh, as well."
Yeah, he represented the best piece of offense coming back.
Yeah,
and this was. I'll just take you back real quick to the offseason. Trevor Etienne decides to leave. Trey Wilson, they were worried. And actually, Trey Wilson, they may have been worried about him leaving before Trevor Etienne announced that he was bouncing. And so keeping him was a priority last offseason, and they were able to do it. So then you come into this year against Miami, and most people, including me, thought, okay, they're going to showcase the heck out of this son of a gun. If Graham Mertz and this offense is going to go, it's going to go through him. Mm-hmm. And he has, if I go back and look at the numbers, a decent amount of catches and yards, but it hasn't manifested itself the way he wanted.
I'm trying to figure out, Matt Hayes, how was this rule implemented? Because what you're essentially telling
3 years ago, the NCAA
what you're essentially telling the kid is that when you get in adverse situations, you can just run from it, or you can bounce, or you can walk away from it.
I get it.
I mean, because you're
I'm not disagreeing with you.
You're 1 and 2. you had I'm not gonna say a great deal, but you were a part of why they are 1-2. So now, we're not even saying the kid's doing this. We're speculating that he's.
Yes, we are.
We're speculating, but I'm
We're
saying
in
you're basically
speculation business.
Well, we aren't speculating.
Yeah.
Joe is. Joe's got his tinfoil hat on, okay?
So you're essentially telling the kid, you know what? When you go through an adverse situation, instead of rallying the troops and figuring a way out to get out of it, you know, you can just sit down, quietly walk away, and act like it never happened.
All right, now, I am not going to make an excuse for this guy. I'm not going to say he's right or wrong or he's jailing it in the Gators. I'm not going to say any of that right now.
I mean, I think he just did.
Well, I'm suggesting it. I'm not saying it. I'm suggesting it. But the one thing that is obviously on, and this is the part that sucks, this is the difference between whenever we look to you for solid advice, you were in an era, and this was a discussion that we had earlier this week. Kids that grew up in Florida dreamed about playing in the state of Florida. It doesn't happen necessarily nearly as often anymore because they can come from far and wide. It doesn't matter. And so you're already seeing an erosion of homegrown talent. And now with the way it works, 4 games, if you don't play more than that, you can save your red shirt. And then the transfer portal being what it is with so much player movement, these guys are like, you know what Trey Wilson is saying? He's saying, I'm a commodity and I'm being wasted. And I need someone else to have eyes on me and make me a star so I can be the success that I think I'm going to be.
You're making a lot of excuses for players right now is what you're doing.
How am I doing that? Honestly.
I'm a commodity. I'm a star. I'm going to wait until someone else can have their eyes on me.
Yeah.
And
okay, so are you going to go, look, I'm
going to tell you what Leon's thinking right now. He's a quitter. That's what Leon's thinking right now.
Listen, I totally get it.
Are you not thinking that? Am I putting words in your mouth?
No, you're not.
No, and I can give you – I'm just saying this is possible. This could be happening, and it's not a good thing. But let's just make this very clear. I'm not making excuses for anybody, okay? I'm just saying this is reality. This is what players are thinking.
Well, that's today's players. Absolutely, that's the way they think now. I mean, they think
that's 100% the way.
They're very individualistic.
Some,
no,
some, not all.
Some are very individualistic, and they understand their brand, so to say. They know what they bring to the table, and they're being told, and NIL money and alumni and all other kind of stuff just feeds in social media. All that feeds into that. So these kids now like, listen, man, it ain't going like I thought it was going to go, you know. So. Man, I need to save a year, shut it down. Give me an extra year opportunity so the NFL can look at me.
13 grabs, 191 yards, touchdown in 2 games, and he's like, man, my knee hurts. My knee hurts really bad. I don't know.
You don't know that it's knee. It's a lower body injury.
Yeah,
Joe.
Okay. All right. You can call
Just remember that. It's a lower body injury.
So anything below the ribs, that's what's hurting.
It could be a rump injury. It could be a rump injury. His rump is burning right now.
Yeah, foot and rump.
The red butt right now. All right, real quick. I need to say this real quick. I feel for all y'all that were out there. This one cat says it took him 3 hours to get to Jacksonville from Palataca today.
That's not good.
3 hours. I'm guessing that was US 17 and then coming across, whatever it was. I feel for you, bro. Another one said semi-overturned. Whenever I see traffic, I always am thankful that I'm not the one that caused the backup, but hopefully everybody's okay. But they did say just north of 210, semi-overturned, and 18-wheeler, all the lanes were blocked. And so when I was coming up US 1, it was packed there too as well. And so I knew it was going to be bad, but feel bad for all y'all.
I mean, honestly, I know we got to go to break, but back to Billy, and we can get in this later too, I think at some point we have to, address the reality of the situation. What did you expect this year? At what point is a track record enough for you? At what point is 2 years of seeing what it was and the operational mess that it was and the fact that they were losing games because of, just unbelievable coaching errors? At what point do you just say, okay, why do we keep him for a third year?
Yeah.
You could have had Lane Kiffin this year.
That we know.
He could have been your coach this year.
Yeah. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that we know, that we feel. And collectively, we've talked about it a bunch on XL Primetime. Others, and I was joking yesterday, they went from let's be patient, you can't fire him, to he's got to go. And they accelerated into that mindset 2 games into this year as opposed to 2 years into Billy being there. But real quick.
By the way, Frange, who doesn't fire the coach, Frange might be leading the charge of firing him.
I know, but Frange was one of the last ones to get there, and he knows it because he was trying to believe in Billy and believe in Strickland, and it just didn't happen.
I like to think that we had something to do with this.
I don't know about it. Well, at the end of the day, look, it's a cutthroat business, man. Every one of these guys knows they're hired to be fired. Yeah. They are. It's the nature of the business.
All right, so let's make this point real quick. Trey Wilson, we say that he might be doing something, and we're saying, hey, he might be tucking and running or whatever. Mm-hmm. He decided to stay. So he did give Billy a chance. So you got to give him credit for that. He decided, hey, you convinced me. I'm going to go into this.
He'd have stayed if Lane Kiffin was there too, okay? Trust me.
Well, yeah, but you're missing my point.
So would you, Manny Allen and all those other guys that left. They would have stayed
I'm just saying, give him a little credit for staying and being convinced that, hey, all right, I'll see it through. He saw it through, and it sucks. And so now he's looking around going, I got to get up and get out.
So you give him the initial credit of saying, all right, I'm going to give a guy one more shot.
Yeah.
But then after one, because basically this is one weekend, because the Sanford game doesn't count. That was a practice game,
it's
right?
2 weeks in.
So after the Miami game, he was in that locker room thinking, all right, we got problems. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's 2 big ball games in. He actually had a hurt knee in the Sanford game. And then
again, you don't know it's a knee, Joe. It's a lower body injury.
I'm just
okay.
Telling you. All right. A Corona Thursday. I'm gonna suck on a lime right now. You guys, let us know what you think. 641-1010. Hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Get in the YouTube chat. We would love to hear from you. We will. One texter says, "Are you talking about neighbor season or Doug season?" So we will get into Doug Peterson as well coming up. So it's XL Primetime. All things ball. You guys can jump in on it.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. He wore 56 and played a key role in their best season ever.
I'm your tape translator, Jeff Loggeman, on Check the Tape Tuesday on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Napa Auto Care. Tuesdays during football season on 1010XL.
Do the Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle with lifetime warranty, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Best price, best payment, best trade-in value, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. With a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there is always a little room for wiggle.
Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? StoneCore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit StoneCore today and let's beautify your home together. StoneCore.co. We do outdoors better.
Best Bet is #1. That's right. Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play against a designated player, one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war. Just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. More at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by November 7th.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged-up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Bueller Air & Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Steve Johnson. Welcome to the show, Steve.
It's great to be here, Alex.
Yeah, you don't have to answer it in the form of a question, Steve.
What is this game show?
See, that's another question.
Are you going to ask me about air conditioners?
Yeah, okay. How about we just send the Bueller guys over and you can annoy them with all your questions? Johnny?
That's right, Steve. Bueller Air & Plumbing can answer all your air conditioning questions. Repair options, replacement models, and how to make your AC last longer while saving electricity. Making sure you are cool.
Where is the parking lot?
You're killing me, Steve.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Southampton invites you to enjoy a round of golf and then a round with your buds, thanks to their game day special. Every Saturday and Sunday during the season, order up 10 wings and a cold pitcher for just $22. Plus, being a member at Southampton has its privileges, like a $500 gift card when you join with a paid initiation fee. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Twilight golf every day with special rates after 3 o'clock. Don't forget trivia Thursday nights and music on the patio Friday night. All at the Golf Club of Southampton.
This is Corona Premier. Just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. It's a light beer that... Wait, this is a light beer? But we should really tell people about... Right, that's why I'm here. Sorry. Corona Premier, unexpectedly, light beer.
When my wrist pain was acting up and I needed help, I took Dan Hickens' advice and headed over to see the experts at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. This is Stuart Moore with the PGA Tour. I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whenever you have a need, they took great care of me. They'll take great care of you.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com, WM.com, and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's The Mangler. Go Team WM, and as always, Duval!
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Let me start off by saying sports talk radio, passion, right? You would agree with that?
Absolutely.
And that's usually what drives sports as much as it does. But it does get a little over the top when I read two headlines. I'll give you guys two headlines from that just happened. Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell is selling his house amid security concerns. And the other one is Titans Will Levis to change phone number after leak. And so both of them, one on the mobile, just getting lit up because he's making bad decision after bad decision as the quarterback of the Titans. So he had to change his phone number. But Dan Campbell and his family moved to a new house this week after his address leaked online. Fox 2 in Detroit saying that Campbell basically dealt with harassment at his home after the loss to the after the loss in the NFC Championship game, and then it heated up again with the loss to the Bucs. Anyway, he had to move. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Wait a minute. First of all, he's not in the gated community. I mean, there's security in gated communities. I mean,
this was Bloomfield Township Police. He had filed reports with them after being harassed at home in the wake of their loss to the 49ers in the NFC Championship game.
Okay, so he's probably on some acreage out there in the country somewhere.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, you can't have it that day.
Isn't that terrible?
That's terrible.
But look, we know that, like you said, they're crazed fans everywhere, but don't harass them at home.
No.
And Will Levis, he probably, once
That's warranted. That's warranted.
Yeah,
those two bonehead plays say that.
He made some really.
So that's northwest of Detroit. It's a good ways out.
Is it really?
It looks like it's probably Middleburg.
Yeah.
That far out. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
it's south of Auburn Hills, which is where the old arena was for the Pistons.
I got you.
Which is way out.
Yeah. All right. So you guys jump in. We had the conversation about what's happening with Trey Wilson. He's hurt. Won't be available against Mississippi State. They got a noon kick. Florida's the favorite in this football game, but we don't think that they're looking that part right now, but we'll see. They're going up against a bad Mississippi State team. But anyway, the chatter all around the program is who's going to be next, who's going to coach this team. And these players, as you can imagine, are talking to themselves in the locker room. And it may not be one guy trying to bring the whole ship down, Leon, but there's got to be guys in that locker room going, and this is the deal. You didn't have this option back in your day where if things were, first off, you didn't play for a loser. You played for a winner, and you were part of winning. But if you were in a bad situation, you'd be looking around. And if you have the means to move, which they do now, it's a topic in the locker room.
Well, listen, I understand the Florida Gator fans' frustration, but you're a huge distraction. And if you cared about the team, this noise about the new coach and everything is not helping the issue. I mean, they're already playing bad enough. All right, so now because the locker room is everything, and so if the players aren't talking about the game, if the players are talking about the next coach that's coming in here, this, and that, they're not focusing on the task at hand. I mean, you're talking about feeble minds. You're talking about 17, 18-year-old kids, and they're hearing the noise. They're hearing the noise. Oh, he ain't gonna be here anyway. So now his authority in the locker room, has been diminished because they know he's gonna be out of here. So when he tries to say, hey, make sure you're doing this, make sure you're going to class, make sure you ain't gonna be here in a couple of weeks. I mean, what we should listen to you for? I'm just saying they're tuning him out.
You know what else affected?
Even in the team meeting room, same thing, tune out.
You know what else affected? 41-17 and 33-7 in the third quarter. That also affected.
Bro, listen, you're right. You know what? And that's on their resume.
I know it's
that's
on their resume. 100% it is, but that affects players. There's no doubt it does it not?
Yeah, it does. It does. Mm-hmm. But guess what? You had something to do with it. I mean, you can't push all of this. You can't shovel all the you know what at his table because you had something to do with it. He entrusted to you to make him look better, and you failed him.
Yeah,
you failed each other.
It's true. It's true.
I'm just saying. I'm just not going to let players off the hook. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not. No, yeah. I mean, the reason they're struggling. Well, structurally, their offense is so much worse than the Jaguars' offense, which is another story in and of itself. If you can believe that. But the reason both those teams are struggling, the Jaguars and the Gators, is the offensive line. The Florida offensive line is horrific. The Jaguars' offensive line is horrific. That's where it begins and ends. Now, Florida also has problems on the defensive line. They have problems in the secondary. So Florida's got a lot more problems than Jaguars.
Multiple concerns.
Well, here's the thing. Let me give you an example. In this, and when I was coaching at FIU, all right. So I was offensive line coach, right. Don Strock was the head coach and the offensive coordinator, sort of say whatever. All he wanted to do was run freaking plays. Let's run plays. So I had to literally fist fight him sometimes to get individual time. He gave me 10 minutes of individual time. I said, Coach, that's not enough. I need more than that. If you want these kids to run these plays effectively, they got to learn the proper techniques and fundamentals to running plays so they can execute them.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying that is that I'm not sure, but I know at FIU, plays were more important than actual technique and fundamentals. Is what I'm saying. That a lot of these kids don't grasp. They're running plays to the point where they're not technically sound fundamentally to where they can execute them at a high level.
Individual drills are everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. So, I mean, if you're saying that the offensive line play is terrible or whatever, it might be manufactured by the fact that this offense, whoever your coordinator is running plays and is not making sure these guys are fundamentally, because you can block guys if you're fundamentally sound with techniques and
I just think,
well,
honestly,
the coordinators of Florida, right? Billy Napier.
Oh, yeah.
The quarterback's coach is of Florida, right? Billy Napier.
He's got
the play caller is of Florida, right?
Yeah.
Billy Napier.
Well, my argument is totally
got a lot of
gone to
business
hell.
cards, that guy.
My card, yeah, well, it's totally gone to hell then.
But I know,
and the offensive line coach is allegedly the offensive coordinator, which he's not. Billy Napier is the offensive coordinator. So you've got a guy who answers to another guy running an offensive line that this is now 3 years the offensive line's been bad.
Well,
3 years.
I think that accountability and challenging guys is something that's missing there, and we might weave this discussion into what's going on here because
you know what else is talent.
Is the head? Yeah, oh yeah.
Remember Billy the Great Recruiter? Talent.
Yeah, believe
they got a bunch of guys running around out there.
It's.
I mean,
the fact that Desmond Watson is still starting in the middle of that defensive line tells you everything you need to know.
What I mean, didn't they have 2 years ago? Didn't they have an offensive lineman go in the first round?
Yeah.
They've had back-to-back years
second
round picks.
Second round.
Yeah.
Second round. Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
He was pretty decent.
Yeah, he's playing for the Bills. Actually, you'll see him Monday night.
That's true. That's right. But he brought him from
Cyrus Torrance.
He brought
from
him
Louisiana.
From Louisiana.
He was a first-round pick.
Yeah, he was first.
Was he? I thought he was second round.
No, he was first round.
No.
He's first round.
Florida's had back-to-back first-round picks. Both of them were transfer portal guys. Osiris and then Pearsall. Pearsall went at the end of the first round. 31st.
I mean, AR was a first-round top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Wasn't a transfer portal.
Yeah.
He was one of the people that was left over when Dan Mullen left the cupboard bare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meanwhile, he leaves him a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, and then he wins 6 games with him.
Yeah, and there were 2 first-rounders that year. 2 first-rounders. That's even though we're all piling on.
I'm not piling. I'm just look. I think the problem is the last 2 years is everybody ignored this because let's give him a chance. You can't ignore stuff like this. It's right there in front of you.
No,
and especially in this day and age when the money is so important, when revenue is so important to keep your program afloat, when you're going to have to actually pay the players here coming next year. You can't fool around with coaches. It's not going to be the same thing as the NFL. If it doesn't work in 1 year, guess what? You're out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you cannot fool around anymore, man.
Right. I don't want to ever see any team, franchise, or whatever, get in the habit of firing every year and starting over every year. But you also need to see signs that tell you you're moving in the right direction. And this one obviously was not moving in the right direction. There's no getting away from that. All right, so we need to get into Tennessee and Oklahoma, Michigan, Southern Cal, some of these big games. And then let's get back to the AFC South because we definitely have had some questions on the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Worst division in the NFL right now? Well, you got one team 2-0, and you got the other 3 0-6 collectively. That is no bueno.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
We're back. Mia here, and winning season is back. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions, like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. That's just the beginning, folks. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super, Survivor, and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, just use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Not to mention, loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Climb through tiers of loyalty rewards programs to unlock even more epic promotions. Only with MyBookie.
Looking for a new vehicle? Take a look at Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Now's the time to save big this summer. Choose from more than 250 new and over 1,000 used and certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot, or shop anytime at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Hyundai has one of the top warranties in the business. Lifetime powertrain and a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, plus 3 years free maintenance on a new vehicle. Give us the opportunity to earn your business today. Atlantic Boulevard, Jacksonville, or visit JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Welcome to the family.
Hey, this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
This right here is as good as it gets. This is life getting lived without obligations or complications. This is filling your cup and savoring the moment. This is the gift of presence, served to you in a place where there's room for everyone and enough to go around. And the best part, it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 19, 2000, Baseball Hall of Fame outfielder Ken Griffey Jr. pinch hits his 400th home run, becoming the first Major League player to reach this milestone as a pinch hitter.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
You know when you said come over for the fight? We thought you meant your house.
You guys want another round of Bud Lights?
Service is better here. And so is the beer.
Bud Light is back as the official beer sponsor of UFC. Enjoy responsibly. 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Thermal Engineers is hiring. Thermal Engineers is a commercial HVAC contractor serving North Florida for over 20 years. Qualified technicians and installers. How does top pay, 401k, and full benefits sound? And a signing bonus. Is it time for a positive change in your career? Join the family-oriented commercial HVAC contractor at Thermal Engineers. Call 230-1172 or go to Thermal Engineers, Inc., an equal opportunity employer.
Meet Abiana talking about her experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
I started doing the BioTarget therapy for plantar fasciitis, and I noticed an improvement immediately. It was almost impossible for me to put my feet down to take a proper step. After the first treatment, I was able to actually walk and do so without limping. I kind of felt like because they were offering a money-back guarantee, it made me feel like they're sure the treatment would definitely work. I would definitely recommend this treatment to anybody that I know because it works.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
The saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, that is actually true if your neighbor installed artificial turf. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned local company that will take your backyard dreams and turn them into a reality. Caleb can design anything from putting greens to pet runs, and if you have a pool, you'll definitely love maintenance-free turf around it. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
If your IT, data security, and your office copiers are operating perfectly, you must have hired ABS, Advanced Business Solutions, as your technology partner.
Advanced Business Solutions.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars defensive lineman Eric Armstead on the message to his teammates at 0-2.
You know, my message to the team, it's not time to panic by any means. You know, it's early in the season. We have an opportunity to do something special. Take a hard look in the mirror. No one is pointing any fingers because I can't control how so-and-so plays, nor can they control how I play out there. You know, each individual has to take accountability for themselves, look hard in the mirror. Were you a reason why we won this game, or were you a reason why we lost this game each week? And be hard on yourself. All those things are in your control as a player.
Eric Armstead on the Third and Long podcast. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
XL Primetime, hanging out in the noon hour, noon to 2 on Thursdays with Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Leon Searcy, RJ. We appreciate you hanging out with us every Thursday, noon until 2. Franchi Show coming up at 2, and then Jaguars programming, including the Coaches Show, coming up at 4 this afternoon. Staying on the line real quick, and then we'll get into some of these games. Off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Leon, I absolutely agree with you. I played college offensive line. I got 4 boys. My youngest is a center, and they do not teach kids to block anymore. And he goes on to say, basically, the time to put in to create a good offensive line really doesn't matter what level we're talking about. They're not giving these kids enough instruction.
No, they're running plays. They think that offensive line is it's an art, all right? It's a craft.
The maestro over here.
He's right. He's right.
You got to sharpen that sword every day. You got to work on the fundamentals and technique, the footwork, the hands, the bent knees, the get-offs, all those components of offensive line. Time has to be spent. If you're just running plays, right, you're just letting players or kids just hang on. You know what I'm saying? There's no art to their execution.
All right, real quick, before Matt brings up the other one, hang on, you got to tell the story before Matt brings up the other one. Talk about technique. Cam Robinson, we're looking at some video of what Cam basically has put on tape through, what are we talking about, 120 plays roughly right now in the first 2 games. Maybe the worst back-to-back games this man's ever had in a Jags uniform. Technique, you were missing it. You immediately saw one thing.
Well, listen, I've seen left tackles make that block 1,000 times.
And tell everybody, he's trying to get up to get the linebacker.
Well, the linebacker is in front of him, and he always told the offensive lineman, especially because you know where the player is going, don't run to where he is, run to where he's going to be, because you know where the play is. Right. And the first thing that Cam Robinson does is that he steps under, and then he tries to bend it, and then the guy makes the play. And then the effort at the end was the most telling part, is that instead of him coming off the ball, if he's still behind, you still have an opportunity to push him past the play and to make. And then the second one that he made on the
second one is so much.
It's terrible. First of all, he's not going full speed. All right, if you're running that kind of play and it's a pass, you got to go full speed and kick out whatever comes in. He lets up. All right.
He's pulling.
From
left to right.
From left to right, he's pulling.
It's the old, like, your wham. What do you call it? The wham crack.
It's a wham play. It's a tackle wham block. All right, but it's play action to where they're faking the wham and then they're going to throw the ball. All right. So the running back can't stop the blitzing linebacker. Then Cam stops right in the middle and watches the linebacker not get blocked, and then he sacks Trey Lawrence.
It's embarrassing.
And the worst part is he's not even trying.
The worst thing, well, yes, for sure, 100% on that. But even but as bad as that is that it's right at the cameras. Yeah. Remember the broadcast?
Yeah,
he's coming right at the camera.
I mean, honestly,
he just whiffs.
Maybe he's hurt, because I'm telling you guys right now, it looks like he's not even trying.
Well, I'm not.
Like, it doesn't matter to him.
Well, the effort is pitiful. Okay, the step under is bad technique, and then the follow through is just horrible. I mean, because when you're told as an offensive lineman, when you're running that play, it's full speed. Because it's play action, it's full speed, like you're running in the wham or the counter play, and he lets up when he's supposed to follow through, which is sad. And those 2 plays are indicative of what this team is the reason why this team is 0-2. lackluster effort, poor technique, and a I don't give a damn mentality.
So I retweeted these two plays. Go on X, and look at these two plays. You'll be shocked. I mean, you'll be absolutely shocked by it. And speaking of the offensive line, by the way, so I was right. O'Cyrus Torrance was a second-round pick.
Yeah, I had it plugged in my head that he was first-rounder, and then.
But it gets much better.
Yeah, one of our pop-offers thought that he was still available.
He wasn't still available when the Jags picked
selected.
Brenton Strange. Okay.
Yeah.
The Bills picked him at 59. The Jags picked at 61. I'm sure that Trent Baalke was going to be the guy they picked, okay?
And you know what
there's no doubt in my mind that was it, okay?
You know what he was doing? Working the phones, but just couldn't get anybody to cooperate.
I'm sure that was who they were going to pick at 61, all right? Because God knows if that's who you're going to pick at 61, you're 2 away and you're worried someone else is going to take him, you'd trade up. So I'm sure they were going to take him, but they didn't, all right?
We made every effort.
So O'Cyrus Torrance, who, by the way, is a guard and is a really good guard, one of the best young guards in the league, is the only player on the Bills line to play every snap last year. Every snap. And, of course, he's starting now, and he's played every snap now. But this team that is desperate for a guard instead chose a tight end when you just signed a tight end to a long-term deal. And, quite frankly, Luke Farrell, who we all made fun of initially, is a pretty good player. So, at the very least, you've got 2 tight ends.
Right.
And you have a desperate need for a guard.
Lukey was an herb selection, okay, in the 6th round.
They were relying on a guard coming back from a dislocated knee, which is a 12, 13, 14-month injury.
Mm-hmm. So a dislocated kneecap?
Dislocated kneecap. It was what's his face? It was
Benny Barch.
No,
it was
Barch. It was Barch, remember?
Right, Barch. Ben Barch.
And then Barch gets cut. What, 5 games into the season?
Okay, now I'm just trying to remember the timeline because I don't believe that Evan Ingram agreed to his contract.
No, he did. Before was it? No,
it was after the draft.
It was after the draft.
It was after. So there was, at the very least, a little insurance in mind.
Right, but they weren't letting him go. Okay.
No, I agree.
They were not letting him go.
And by the way, they had tagged him, so you are right.
But
they
had
him.
Right. The bigger part of my whole point is the fact that they were banking on a guy coming back from a devastating knee injury, and they passed on O'Cyrus Torrance.
Yeah. And on the other side, the overpaid one.
I mean, like, look, we're not NFL. Look, we're not NFL GMs, okay? Even we would make that pick. It's not that difficult to see, man.
And we'll remind everybody at that point, especially when you're talking about 2nd round of the 2023 draft. Trent had about 45 draft picks to work with.
And nobody would work with us.
Yeah, about 45. Something.
Here's what you do, Trent. I'll give you our entire draft for that pick. How about that?
Yeah.
Because it's not like you got any. Oh my gosh! And then here's another thing. Oh, by the way, the giant blind spot guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do they do in the draft?
Yeah, it honestly is back-to-back years if you want to go back to that one.
And what cost them in the 2nd game of the season? The 2nd game of the season, what cost them?
A safety with Ezra Cleveland with him.
Again, we're not GMs. We don't get paid millions of dollars to do this. But we watch.
Yeah, we get paid.
And we see what's going on, and it's not that difficult to see that they're not any good in the middle 3.
Well, neither are we good on the outside either.
Right now it's bled to the outside.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the thing is that we were thinking those were luxuries versus liabilities, that those 2 tackle positions were going to be basically the thing you could count on, and you would hope for the interior 3 to come together. And we all know that as a whole, as a unit, they have struggled. And both tackles right now are off to not sizzling starts. They're off to sucky starts right now. Anton Harrison, you take a look at how he's grading out. Way down when we're talking about metrics, and then obviously Cam back-to-back.
Wait one second. The Jags had the 56th pick that year, and they traded it to the Bears. So they could have taken O'Cyrus Torrance.
So wait a minute. So they traded to move back to get more. Okay, I got to remind myself of all these things. Oh, yeah.
Thank you for reminding us on the text line of that. Look, here's the thing. The text line brought to you by our good friends at Lifetime Enclosures is just a perfect example of what's going on out there. People are so frustrated. Here's another great example. This morning, I listened to Dilla, a friend of the show. You all know him out there. He's just a huge Jags fan. he has a podcast. I listened to it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just him and one of his buddies talking about the Jags. They're not breaking down stuff. They're just talking about the Jags. And they are beside themselves. They don't know what to think about this club. And I'm thinking to myself, this is every fan in this city. Every fan in this city is like this right now. They don't know what's going on. They don't know why it's not good. All they know is it's not good, and there's no one's being held accountable for it. So they're all just wildly frustrated. And I get every one of you guys out there because you should all feel that way. Because right now, what's going on, the product they're putting on the field, after the owner in the offseason said it's a organizational fail from top to bottom last year, that it has to get better. And they start out with this. Now they've lost 8 over their last 9 games. Mm-hmm. I absolutely understand everybody out there thinking, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, off the text line. Easy to see, especially in hindsight. No, this show's been talking about
offensive line for you guys have actually been making fun of me for the last 2 years because I've been talking about.
That's what we talked about was guard play, getting guard play in here.
Yeah,
hell, we talked about the last draft.
And believe me, I went into this season believing that one change might make a world of difference. And just going back to what we just said about the tackles being something that you could count on, I had to bow to you two. I had to.
Well, you guys at one point were making fun of me because I said guard in the draft with the first 2 picks.
I had to wave the white flag.
And guess what? Cooper Beebe right now is the starting center for the Dallas Cowboys.
Stud.
Never played center before.
And I believe only a couple of pressures through 2 games. I believe with the PFF folks, like we said.
You think he could have helped us a little bit? Maybe.
Yeah, probably. Okay. Probably as much as Osiris Torrance too.
Yeah. but you know, like the Osiris part of this, Juwan Taylor started every snap, basically almost his entire career here.
He did.
Luke Fortner started every play or played in every game his first 2 years and then ultimately got benched. So Osiris does appear to be a pretty good player.
By the way, maybe it wasn't Luke Fortner's fault after all.
Scheme, time to develop.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah. Look, there's so many things that we can point to. If you have a dartboard, normally you're aiming for the bullseye. The entire dartboard is the bullseye right now. Wherever you throw your dart and hit it, there's a problem right now with this particular squad. And that's where they are. Now, they can turn it around. We all know that. But you're talking about football teams right now that are 0-2, and their chances are greatly diminished.
No, I mean, the odds are in their favor to turn it around. You've got 15 more games. I'm just trying to be positive here. I'm trying to see the light.
Let me tell you something, bro. To win this division, legitimately, they're going to have to win 10 of their next 15 games. Maybe 11 of their next 15.
Yeah.
And look,
tall task for this group right now.
I agree.
We can take a look at what's ahead for them and what's ahead for the Houston Texans, who have that first place schedule, and things do get tougher for them. They've been in 2 close ball games, one against now Chicago Bears team that's just kind of trying to figure themselves out just a little bit. Against the Indianapolis Colts, they were in a close ball game. Colts with AR goes up to Green Bay and loses to Malik Willis. So we really don't know exactly who the Houston Texans are just yet. We just know that they're 2 games up on everybody else in the AFC South, unfortunately.
Here's another thing, too. I'm not blaming coaches and stuff. It's everybody. Because imagine being Press Taylor and calling plays, and you get an effort like that from Cam Robinson. What's he supposed to do? What play are you supposed to call at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. What play do you call at that point if you're getting effort like that from your offensive line?
I don't know. I don't have the answer to it. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the reason. Listen, offensive coordinators usually they like to let the offensive line get the juices flowing by running the ball, whatever. But if you're going into the game like we did last week against the Browns, and we're getting negative here, negative there, 0 yards here, I mean that frustrates any play caller because the inability to run the football. I mean, so this offensive line is doing it to themselves. If they're having to pass protect 30 or 40 times a game, it's because of them. Because of their lackluster effort in the run. Because no offensive lineman wants to be pass blocked at 30 or 40 games.
And by the way, they have not thrown
No, none of them want
Okay, but let's just make this clear. They have not thrown that many passes. Yeah. They haven't had that many plays.
True.
Okay.
Especially last week,
Yeah. So I think the most he's thrown, attempted, was 26 passes. So anyway, we'll keep it going. We'll get into that. They have got to get it right. We're going to find out if they get it right Monday night against the Buffalo Bills up in Orchard Park. So we'll stay on your Jags, take a look at the game tonight to see what are we talking, Jets, Patriots tonight. We'll get into that one and then back into some of these big ball games in the world of college football. It's XL Primetime, a Corona Thursday right here on the Superstation.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010 XL. Get what you need to get you ready for the weekend.
I'm National College Football writer Matt Hayes, and I'll bring you stories about players, coaches, and programs.
It's the Bueller Aaron Plumbing College Kickoff, Friday night at 6. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Florida homeowners are going to extreme lengths to stay cool this summer.
We sit in front of the refrigerator with the door open and only eat frozen foods while they're still frozen and put ice cubes down our pants. Whoa, that's cold.
But the most popular and cost-effective way can be summed up by a quack. Just call Duck Duck Air Conditioning. For AC repairs to new installations, you too can beat the Florida heat with Duck Duck Air Conditioning, Jacksonville area's AC experts. Trust the Duck to keep your cooling costs low. DuckDuckAC.com.
There's certain places you know if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Cold Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bold City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate, full of choices and all of them good.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Mia O'Brien.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
On Helmets and Heels, noon to 2.
I swear to you, I know her.
Then there's the 1010XL video and social media channels.
I would know her voice anywhere.
All Things Mia is driven by Arlington Toyota.
On 1010XL.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Atlantic Self Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Lauren Brooks here. If you're in pain and you think you've tried everything, I've got a solution for you. The team at Active Health Jacks treats the source of the problem, not just the pain, so you can avoid surgery, cortisone injections, and pain medications. I've had neck aches for years, and I've tried everything from acupunctures to massages with no results. Within minutes of my evaluation and treatment, the tension was gone. It was amazing. Active Health Jacks can help you too. Give them a call at 904-296-0202 today or visit them online at activehealthjacks.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck Farah. We know how important it is for you to have a vehicle after you've been injured in a car accident. So when we represent you for your personal injury claim, we'll help you get a rental car from the insurance company while your car is being repaired. And we'll provide this service at no additional fee. If you're hurt and you've got no car, let my team go to work for you. Farah & Farah, protecting you and your family. Call us at 396-5555 or go to farahandfarah.com. Jacksonville.
the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
We love talking sports on 1010XL, and I9 Sports loves giving kids the perfect way to grow up playing sports. Fall and winter registration is underway. Log on to i9sports.com and see all they've got to offer. Kids 3 and up. You can enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay. Sign up now for fall and winter. Great locations added like Fort Family Field, Westside Middle, and Duval Charter Bay Meadows. It's all online at i9sports.com.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Advanced Business Solutions. The FSU Seminoles are still in search for their first win of the season as they kick off against the California Golden Bears this weekend in Tallahassee. Head coach Mike Norvell met with the media after yesterday's practice, reviewing how the team has progressed during the week.
I thought today was a real solid day. I thought our defense had one of their better practices. Felt just the energy, the approach that guys were extremely competitive. I like what they did, and they were doing it with good communication. You felt their presence and how they practiced today. Still things to clean up there offensively. Had some drop balls, some missed throws, some missed opportunities. We've had a few guys that that have had to go down, and it's open doors of opportunity for guys. That's one thing that I've challenged them with. Is that, man, you get your opportunity, you better make it stick.
The Noles kick off Saturday at 7 o'clock. It's 86 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, the worry for Texas, the Longhorns, is that when Quinn Ewers went down with an abdominal strain, is that what it was? A core oblique injury, is that he may be gone for a while. And then Arch Manning stepped in the game and everything looked okay. And they said, this is going to be all right. In fact, this might be really, really good. And so now Arch Manning will start this Saturday for the Texas Longhorns against ULM. Not the biggest game.
Nope.
But he does get to get in there and basically get 60 minutes of
Got some wheels too, bro.
Oh, yes, he does.
He's athletic. He's more athletic than Quinn. There's no doubt about that. I just look. I think it doesn't matter who they're playing a quarterback. They're going to be really tough to beat. So, and I was a guy who initially this season thought Texas was going to, playing in the SEC week after week was going to be a problem for them. But they look really solid on both sides of the ball. Let's see, because look. I said this earlier this week, and it can't be denied, is, JT Daniels was a Heisman candidate going into 2021. Mm-hmm. He had a huge finish to 2020. Everybody was riding that. He was the guy. He was one of the very first NIL guys, if you remember that. He had that chicken deal. It was like, I think it was Cane's chicken. Or it might even have been Zaxby's, actually.
It might have been Zaxby's,
yes,
as a matter of fact.
I think that's
Shout
right.
out to Chip.
Yes.
Our man.
So he was one of the very first guys, if you remember that, okay? He gets the oblique injury. They believe it was initially happened against Clemson, then exacerbated it against Vanderbilt the next week, and he's out. And he was week to week. He wasn't medically cleared to play till late October. And then, of course, we all know what happened. Stetson got in there, and boom, away they go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know that I would say, well, he's only going to miss 1 week. Quinn Ewers. Let this thing play out a little bit because these injuries are very odd and very strange. And our doctor, Dr. George Barry, who we had breakfast with this morning, it's good.
Yeah.
Good to break some bread with Gio.
I'm glad he got me in town earlier. Is what I'm happy
right,
about.
or you'd still be out there on the highway.
Yeah.
These things, they're different injuries for everybody, and everybody heals differently. So don't be shocked if it's more than 1 week, or don't be shocked if he comes back and then all of a sudden in the first quarter of the game he comes back, he's like, oh, not good.
There are few teams, Leon, that can go. You guys just barely found the quarterback that you've been looking for a while, and you lose a guy like that. Things change drastically with a college football team or an NFL team losing a quarterback. Texas is one of the rare ones that says, hey, Mr. $1 Million Man, waiting in the wings, step in and take over.
Well, you got 2 5-stars.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a 5-star starter, you got a 5-star backup. I mean, it don't get any better than that. Does it?
Not only that, they're among the probably top 10, 12 quarterbacks in the country too, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're losing very little. Actually, is what you're doing, and they're in a good position. It's the most important position on the field, and they've got 2 of the best players at that position.
Yeah, which is rare, and they will definitely take it. Now, let's look at some of these games because we've got big ones. Now, Texas does not have a big game, but when we start talking about whether we smell an upset or not, or whether we smell a beatdown, let's focus in on this one game. Josh Heupel going back to Oklahoma. Let's remind people of a few things. This is an SEC tilt. It is roughly a touchdown line right now.
Right.
And the Tennessee Volunteers with Nico Io, they have now thrown their name into the hat.
Iamaleava.
Yeah, Io Maleleva.
Oh, that was totally made up.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever.
Anyway, they have thrown their name into the hat as being a legit college football playoff contender, not only to get to the CFP, but to play for it all based on what they've got on both sides of the ball. So that's one part of the storyline. The other part of the storyline is that Josh Heupel is going back to Oklahoma, Leon, and this is a place, if you'll recall, he was a favorite son winning a national title as a heavy underdog against the Florida State Seminoles. When you go back to, what was that, 2002? And they end up winning that game over Bobby Bowden in Florida State. And
they didn't have Snoop. That hurt. There's no doubt that hurt.
Mark Richt was taking a job. Snoop got hurt. Chris Winkie was on the Heisman circuit.
I still think OU would have won, but not having Snoop.
It was kind of a perfect storm against Florida State, but that was Bobby Stoops coming in there and taking over, and they won that natty, and Josh Heupel was their guy. So anyway, he ends up being their offensive coordinator. They end up firing him a few years later, and it was not necessarily the sweetest parting of ways. No. And so does he come back with a little anger in his belly? Try and...
Well, first of all, they should have never won that title because we should have been there instead of Florida State. Let me go ahead and put that out there first, okay?
I mean,
2002.
No, it was 2000.
Y'all had a chance. 2000. Y'all had a chance, and you lost to Rick Neuheisel, who was playing a quarterback running the option at Washington.
So long
2000.
Marcus Tuiasosopo, 8 years.
That was the first game of the season. Did we not beat Florida State?
You did.
All right, the BS schedule.
You did.
I mean, what was the BS ratings?
BCS.
Oh, okay. I call it the BS ratings. But hey, listen, he was fired at Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's got a little fire in his belly, of course. I mean, that's his alma mater. But getting fired and coming back and playing the team, it's almost like I told you so. So I mean, if Tennessee goes out there and gets the dub, of course it's gonna be gratifying for him.
So does he put a number on him?
Oh well, listen, Tennessee. What did they put up last week? 70.
I was 67 at halftime.
Oh,
They've been going nuts.
That's just ridiculous, bro.
I don't care who you're playing. 67 halftime is pretty good.
I'm just saying, but at one point do you just let the clock run, a running clock? I mean, 67 points ahead.
Apparently they asked, it was Kent State, I believe, right? Or Akron, one of the two, if they wanted to shorten, the quarters and run clock, and they said no.
It's like that Rocky man. Remember when he said, "Throw in the damn towel, throw in the damn towel."
So here's the thing. I mean, Brent Venables is a good coach. He's coached in a lot of big games. So I think he'll have them ready defensively initially. But that onslaught, once that thing hits, man. And the problem is, I'm not sure offensively they can play score for score with them. Okay. Jackson Arnold, it's just, he's kind of shaky so far this year. He's done some good things, but he also is not consistent. And he, by the way, it was him and Nico Iamaleava.
Yeah.
They were 1 and 2 as far as the best quarterbacks. Right. The best quarterbacks in that recruiting class. So it's also going to be a battle of the two top quarterbacks in that recruiting class 2 years ago. So, yeah, I think Nico's further along than Jackson Arnold right now, and I think offensively Tennessee is much further along than Oklahoma. That's going to be the difference. And then the Vols defense. Once Oklahoma gets put in a situation where they have to throw the ball, then those edge rushers at Tennessee are going to take over.
All right. So do we smell an upset there? At least right now, I don't think we do because of what we just listed.
Do you, Searcy?
No, I got Tennessee.
I actually smell like a rout, to be honest.
Yeah. Michigan, Southern Cal.
A dangerous one, I think, for Southern Cal. I really like the way he looked at LSU. Shut out Utah State, and you could say, oh, it's Utah State. But the next week, Utah State played Utah, which was considered the bully of the Pac-12. Always played good D there. And Utah State had 21 on Utah. So I think defensively they're much better. Now, the question is, this is your Big Ten opener. This is USC's foray into the Big Ten, the big, bad Big Ten, where it's bully ball, and you got to be strong, and you got to be tough. Let's see what they got, man. Let's see if they can play that bully ball.
And Michigan, for what they've done right now, coming off of a natty, is they look disjointed, disheveled.
And they're desperate.
Yeah, and they now made the quarterback change, so they've done
Alex
a lot.
Orji is their new quarterback. He is a run first, throw second. They are going to do my guess is their offense is going to be what it was last season at the end of the year when Sherrone Moore was the final 3 games when they had to play Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State. And all they did was basically just play smart, run the ball. Remember against Penn State, they ran the ball like how many times? 20-something straight times.
They
never passed in the
second half.
Yeah,
right?
They never passed.
Right. So I think they're going to try that. I think it's going to be, look, our defense is really good. Let's be smart. Let's try and run the ball, slow the game, dictate tempo, play good defense, run, and see if we can pop one or see if we can get a short field from an interception or a fumble and get some points and get out of here with an ugly win.
I do believe this is one of those, do we fit in this conference type of games for Southern Cal? Do we understand the physical play that Big Ten ball is about?
Absolutely.
It's not a slick, fancy, finesse game. It's power, and I'm curious as to how they handle that part.
The only time these two teams play is in the Rose Bowl, right?
Prior to this year,
Prior to this year. So this will be probably their first, regular season battle since whenever?
Regular season?
I'm
not sure I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had played, but I don't know how long. You know what else it could be, though, honestly? Honestly, what it could be, because they've got the skill on offense right now. Miller Moss is a really good player.
Yeah.
And they got good receivers. It could be a lot like, you know what? We're going in there, and I don't care about your defense.
Yeah.
We're going to chuck it around the yard. A lot like what Spurrier did in the SEC when he first got there.
They could
just
come
going to
out
chuck
of there.
it around, man.
Yeah, Sherrone Moore could come out of there, and Michigan Maize and Blue fans could be coming out there going, what the hell just happened to the Big Ten?
Right.
Oh, my God.
Right.
And it easily could go down like that. All right, let's hit the other one, the other big one, Utah, Oklahoma State. You've been looking forward to this one, Big Sirs, and we're talking about two teams that we can question. I think we can question Oklahoma State because they almost got beaten by Arkansas, were it not for just a couple of crazy plays at the end of that ball game. But anyway, that's an important one for the Utes and for the Cowboys.
Well, I felt so bad for Sam Pittman. I was texting Matt. I was like, it's a damn shame that they lost this game because they were up 14-0, and then Oklahoma State at home came back. Well, it wasn't at home. They were playing Arkansas when they lost. When they beat them.
No, that was Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. That's right. It wasn't Pat Boone State. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. This may be, tell me if I'm wrong, Matt Hayes, this may be leapfrog you as far as the playoff contention goes. It's a lot of ball, but they'll be the front runners because these are the two.
I would think the three biggest teams are them, these two, and Kansas State.
Kansas State.
The Ducks.
The Ducks. Yeah. And Utah's my pick, so I'll be rooting for them.
You'd have to admit, or I will admit, Friday night, I thought Arizona maybe had a little something for Kansas State, 7-point line.
Then you saw Avery Johnson.
And they finally, Chris Kleiman finally said, you know what? Let's let Avery be Avery.
Right.
Let's let him take off and improvise and run.
By the way, that's why Will Howard left for Ohio State.
Yeah.
That guy.
Oh, he's good.
That's the dude.
That's also not to excuse or not to say that Will Howard is not already off to a nice start. We haven't seen them play, Ohio State play.
They've played 2 practice games.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't played top-level competition just yet, and so we will see how the Chip Kelly offense led by Will Howard will ultimately fare. But, yeah, the other guy, Avery Johnson, is fun to watch. That's for sure.
So here's the problem with that game, okay? Yeah. we don't know if Cam Rising's going to play. He is, quote, expected to play, okay, in that game, which is, I mean, it's huge. He's everything for them.
Yeah.
Like, if he plays, I think they can go into Stillwater and win that game. I really do. I think they're that good. And you look what he's done this year when he's played already. He's been almost perfect. He's got 7 touchdowns, no interceptions, and it's an efficient offense. If you got to go in there with Isaac Wilson, I don't know if he's looking at Cougars either, but like his brother, but Isaac Wilson, the brother of Zach,
yeah,
you're gonna have a problem in Stillwater with that cat.
Yeah.
Tell you that right now.
Yeah, and so this is what we're trying to figure out. Which one of these teams is going to clean up their mistakes from the first few ball games and start looking the part? And Oklahoma State is basically being asked that because offensively they've got some weapons. They got Ali, and they've got other guys that can make plays for them. But, yeah, can they clean things up defensively? Because, hell, they let Arkansas jump on them 14-0 right out of the box. And they'll see if they can do this one.
By the way, Isaac
looks
identical to Zach.
Really?
Leon, am I not right?
Same type of play?
No, face.
Yeah. Just face?
Yeah, they do.
Like twins they look.
Scary.
That's funny. I just want to know if he...
I know there's going to be a Cougar joke coming up. I know there is. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to know if they were into the same things, if they had the same hobbies. That's really what I was after. I was just trying to figure it out. All right, real quick. UCLA and LSU.
By the way, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong.
Okay.
UCLA, LSU. LSU's got to prove they can stop somebody. South Carolina took them right to the wire and then figured out a way to give LSU that game.
UCLA is terrible.
They are bad.
Did you see what Indiana did to them last week?
They're so bad.
They're terrible.
And so you would think LSU's going to be able to handle business, and then you got Cal coming into Florida State.
I mean, I'm starting to wonder about Deshaun Foster there. They're terrible. We all laughed when he said, we're UCLA, we're from L.A.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder now.
Yeah, they do not look very good.
When Indiana goes in there and scores 41 on you in the Rose Bowl?
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Right. And that's not Indiana, the basketball team.
Oh.
Yeah, so something else. All right, so you guys chime in on those. We'll look at a couple of other games in the SEC and the college football world coming up in just a bit. But back to your Jags and the National Football League. Tonight's game, we'll touch on all that coming up. A Corona Thursday with XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Get inside the mind of the QB with Denny Thompson, the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah, I want to tell you what's really happening at the quarterback position.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet.
Hey, John, my dad, Randy Marion's gone absolute Cadillac crazy. You won't believe our Escalade lineup.
Well, how crazy we talking, Jennifer?
Buckle up, folks. We've got over 35 Cadillac Escalades.
35 Escalades? That's luxury overload.
I'm talking fully loaded models, cutting-edge tech, and that signature Cadillac style.
And the deals are even more luxurious. $4,000 Escalade loyalty rebate.
Plus 5% off MSRP on retired courtesy vehicles. Head to Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Plus tax tag title $899 MNP and resistol.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
We're back. Mia here, and winning season is back. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions, like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. That's just the beginning, folks. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super, Survivor, and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, just use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Not to mention, loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Climb through tiers of loyalty rewards programs to unlock even more epic promotions. Only with MyBookie.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and your time at home should be stress-free. The last thing you want to worry about is a clogged drain or your hot water not working. So do what I did and call my friends at Fenwick Home Services. They can replace or repair your home's plumbing systems and fixtures fast. Fenwick offers 24 24/7 same-day service and can fix any plumbing problem you have. With free same-day estimates and guaranteed repairs, the pros at Fenwick Home Services get the job done right the first time. You can also save on future emergencies with $50 off any repair. Online at FenwickHomeservices.com.
I've known Glenn Cohen for a long time as a friend and a lawyer. Persistent and fair, Glenn and his firm have represented clients from North Florida and South Georgia for over 40 years in all kinds of personal injury cases. If I had such a case, call Glenn at Barnes, Cohen, and Sullivan.
Get more Garnet and Gold on the Seminole Report.
Follow the Seminole Warpath to college football glory.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team. Stay close to the Seminoles with the Florida State Seminole Report on 1010XL.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Hey, there's a lab-grown diamond and jewelry sales event going on right now at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Monahan's is known for its natural diamonds and gemstones, but we've had so much demand for lab-grown diamonds that now through the end of September, Monahan Jewelers is having a lab-grown diamond and jewelry sales event. We've brought in a huge selection of lab-grown diamonds and jewelry to meet this incredible demand. Lab-grown diamond sales event now through the end of September at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Ever wondered what heaven smells like? Come explore Crowned Head Cigars on Saturday, September 21st from 1 to 4 p.m. at Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road, and find out. We've got the Mil Diaz, so smooth it's like a spa day for your taste buds. The Mil Diaz Maduro, rich enough to make a chocolate bar jealous. And Tim Osgener's Aramis, so bold they'll make you rethink your life's choices. As always, there will be great deals, food, and prizes you'll want to brag about. See you at Tobacco Cove, where every puff is a party.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Are the company's Zoom calls getting boring? Might be a good time to order some new logo caps or temporary tattoos. Check them out online at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and it is hot out there. You know that, Greg, but Honda has a plan for you on or off the road.
They do. There's a ton of Honda scooters, Honda mini motos, great for the beach. Also get you out in the woods with a Honda side-by-side. Plenty to do and stay cool.
Yeah, four-wheelers, and you can trick them out.
We can. From stereo systems to big builds, we do it all.
Everything's there for you to see. CyclesofJacksonville.com online or on Atlantic near Regency. Check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my successful back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Are you ready to upgrade your home? Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Andersen energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, zero down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit rbafla.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
All right, we've been talking some college ball. We've been talking the National Football League. We've got Jets, Patriots tonight. What's the line on this bad boy? Do you think that you would see a little bit of a turn in the right direction for the New England Patriots tonight? They've been they pulled off a surprising win to start the year, handed the Bengals their first loss, and then I have to go back and remember, but they stayed in that game with Seattle pretty much 45, 50 minutes of that ball game. What do you think tonight? What's your vibe?
My vibe? Both teams, 1-1? Mm-hmm. 1-1. I think I'm gonna go with the Jets. They're playing a little better defensively now. You know, Aaron's got his feet. You know, he's gotten himself together. He still worries me in the pocket. He stays in the pocket now. I don't know if it's old age or he doesn't have the wiggle room like he used to. But I'm just used to the Aaron Rodgers rolling left, throwing those darts, rolling right, throwing those darts, those type of things. Mm-hmm. So he's content with staying in the pocket. I like the Jets. I like the Jets in this game.
6-point line, by the way.
Ooh, 6.
Jets.
Jets.
Yeah. 6.
It's a lot.
It's a big number.
That is a big number.
They're 6-point favorites at home inside the division. Sunday night, the Eagles were 5.5-point favorites to the Falcons.
Yeah.
And fouled that one up at the end.
I like what Gerard Mayo's doing, too. I like what he's doing there.
Defensively.
It's just the whole team. They've got a vibe about them. I mean, they could have won that Seahawks game.
Yeah, Stevenson, good running back.
Yeah, they're just smart. They're playing smart. I mean, I don't think they're going to win on the road.
Right.
I think the Jets will win it in the fourth quarter, but the Patriots are playing smart. They're not going to give away games.
Well, both of them look like they've got good defenses. And like we said, Aaron Rodgers from week 1 to week 2, a little more comfortable. Certainly got guys involved once again, which is what he needed to do. Breece Hall can run the ball. And so both of them have solid running games that they can count on, but it's a matter of which defense can rattle the other quarterback. You would expect the Jets defense to rattle Jacoby Brissett.
But he's played really smart this year. He hasn't turned the ball over. He's played within the framework of what they want him to do. Mm-hmm. He's been and I know people hate to hear this, he's been a great game manager for them.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't care who you're talking about, what level you're talking about. Managing a game means don't make mistakes. Don't be a mistake prone.
You also have to make plays, but managing a game is very important. There's no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Heck,
you don't have to take a risk, especially if you can run the ball.
You got to be but you do. To Joe's point, and you would agree with this too, so I'm sure you would. At some point, you've got to start making throws that are difficult throws. They have to be complete.
That stresses the defense.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the mid-level and short throws, you don't stress the defense that way.
Right.
When you got someone like we have, Brian Thomas, that can stress it going deep. You keep them honest is what you do.
All right, I tell you what. Let's stay in the NFL with this right now, RJ.
Here's a bold fact brought to you by Bold City Brewery, Duval's first craft brewery. Online at boldcitybrewery.com.
Now, they got their Bold-toberfest coming up into October. We'll be telling you all about everything they've got going on. They're going to be cranking out some craft, celebrating October Bold-toberfest at Bold City Brewery, Duval's first brewery since 2008, as they celebrate another year in the biz. Look for them, Bold City downtown, right there on Bay Street, and the production house, Roselle, over in Riverside, and enjoy some great specials and some great craft. Thursdays are always fun for them, that's for sure. You can go on over there and enjoy tonight with specialties on their tap list and, of course, their Thursday night menu. So make sure you check that out. Thursdays, beers, burgers, and bingo, that $8 smash burger. And the first beer is BOGO. So take advantage of it. All right. Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals off to a nice start. 17 of 21 in the win over the LA Rams. That was 81%. Ended up throwing for 266, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He had a 158.3 passer rating. Pretty damn good. Highest attainable mark is 158.3. Added 59 rushing yards on his way to a 41-point offensive explosion against the Rams. Second player in NFL history with at least 250 passing yards and 50 rushing yards in that perfect passer rating. Who did he join?
250 and 50?
Yeah, he went 250, 50, and had 158.3. So that's the key, to have that perfect passer rating along with those numbers.
Why does this feel like
We're talking only one other dude.
It feels like Russell Wilson. It does feel like Russell.
No, this feels like this is a Joe connection game, and the Jags are playing the Bills. This feels like a Josh Allen thing. That, or it's just going to be some rando, like Baker Mayfield.
I'll just help you off. I'll get you off to a good start. It is rando.
I knew it. I knew it was a rando. All right. Oh, man.
And we're going back in time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Like time, or like?
I'm just going to say we're going back in time. I'll put it to out of the 21st century. How about that?
All right, that's better.
Some help.
All right, that's better. All right. That's better. All right, I'll take Steve Young.
You're going way back in time, huh?
Well, he said it was back, man.
Okay. Oh, man.
All right.
I'm going to go.
You're going to go?
I'm going to go. If you're going to go back, I'm going to go Steve McNair.
Okay. Those are two really good ones. 158.3 passer rating, 250 passing yards, 50 rushing yards with McNair and Young would both make sense. This one does not make any sense. 1974, Kenny Anderson.
Kenny Anderson.
Oh, wow. The
It
Bengals?
makes zero sense. But I would have never.
Anderson?
Yeah. 1974.
He rushed for 50?
Yeah. And had that perfect passer rating. But
Plus, he also had that single bar face mask, too, which was not good.
But the message here is
on that helmet with the bad logo that just said Bengals in block letters.
It
terrible.
It did. All right, so real quick, and let's just finish up this part of it, and this does tie it back to the Jags. I'm going to just try and go through number one picks of recent vintage, and all of them have been second-guessed on one level or another.
All right.
And I'll probably get into this a little bit more tomorrow. But Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young has now been sat down, and Trevor Lawrence. We're going back over the last 5 drafts, quarterbacks that have been selected number one. Kyler Murray has been second-guessed, gone through a significant injury, and is battling back at the very least. Played well in the first game. Defense ended up giving Buffalo that game back, and they ended up 0-1, but then put a 40-burger on the LA Rams. And so Kyler Murray's reclaiming some of his reputation. Baker Mayfield reclaiming some of his reputation with the 2-0 start after a playoff run last year. And then the other half of it is Bryce Young got sat down and Trevor's getting knocked around. So it is kind of interesting.
Kyler Murray's got a 122.9 quarterback rating right now.
Right now? Yeah. And heck, if you go back to the quarterbacks before those two, it was.
Hang on, let me give you Baker's quarterback rating right now. I bet it's very close. Baker's is even better, 129.1.
Yeah. So
that's not bad.
Yeah.
Baker's got what, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick?
5 touchdowns, 1 pick.
And they're figuring things out. How do I operate and be successful in the system that I'm in? And at the very least right now it's working. Trevor needs to put some demands on guys around him, coaches included, to figure this thing out and make it a little more productive offensively.
Yep.
And we'll see if he can do it. It's XL Primetime, getting close to the 2 o'clock hour. We got another half hour with you. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Corona Thursday, and then we'll hand it off to the Frangie Show at 2 o'clock.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool? Today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Steve Johnson. Welcome to the show, Steve.
It's great to be here, Alex.
Yeah, you don't have to answer in the form of a question, Steve.
What is this game show?
See, that's another question.
Are you going to ask me about air conditioners?
Yeah, okay. How about we just send the Bueller guys over and you can annoy them with all your questions? Johnny?
That's right, Steve. Bueller Air and Plumbing can answer all your air conditioning questions, repair options, replacement models, and how to make your AC last longer while saving electricity, making sure you are cool.
Where is the parking lot?
You're killing me, Steve.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Joe C. for the Preferred Group, Preferred Roofing. With all this rain, it might be coming up. A little conversation around the dinner table. You might have leaks that you're looking at that are starting to really create a problem, and you need to think about roof replacement. And look, you can look up. Insurance companies will knock on your door and say, hey, we're going to have to raise your rates if we don't replace this roof. Well, certainly don't let them kind of knock you around or put any extra pressure on you. Just make sure you get the right guys working on that roof. You can definitely log on and check out the work that they've done. PreferredRoofingJacks.com. In this community for a long time. We're talking decades, and they can definitely take care of you. And if you're thinking about remodels, additions, or brand new homes, don't forget PreferredBuildersJacks.com as well.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need any special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
Hey, football fans, looking for the ultimate game day experience? Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. We're talking big plays on the big screens, food specials that'll make your taste buds cheer, and drink deals that'll keep your spirits high. And get this, we're open till 4 a.m., serving food and drinks until 2. Make the smart play. Head to Best Bet St. Augustine and ante up for your team. Find us at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com. Best Bet St. Augustine, where every game day is a win.
Who's the only person to walk in space and also visit the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the ocean?
How long has it been since you compared homeowners' insurance rates? Log on to southernoak.com to get an instant quote or find an agent near you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
NASA astronaut Catherine Sullivan is the only person so far who has spacewalked and has traveled to the Mariana Trench.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 19, 2000, Baseball Hall of Fame outfielder Ken Griffey Jr. pinch hits his 400th home run, becoming the first Major League player to reach this milestone as a pinch hitter.
It's time to take it back to the 90s, Jags fans. Be at the bank Sunday, October 6th as we debut our Prowler throwback jerseys against the Colts and induct legendary head coach Tom Coughlin into the pride of the Jaguars at halftime. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. You're not going to want to miss this matchup. Lock in your seats now by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations to help you put your prostate health first. Guys, don't put this one off. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
This is Hayes Carlion for Skylife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. Skylife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at Skylife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
Don't bet the National Football League this season without your VSiN NFL betting guide. Betting previews for all 32 teams, betting trends, VSiN's exclusive in-depth win total projections, and a guide on how to use betting splits to bet and win. Download your free copy of the guide right now, featuring a betting preview of your Jacksonville Jaguars. 1010XL.com. That's 1010XL.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by November 7th.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars tight end Evan Ingram suffered a hamstring injury in pregame warm-ups before Sunday's game against the Browns. Defensive back Darnell Savage suffered a quad injury late last week in practice. Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson had an update on both players this morning.
Evan right now, he's a little bit further away, so we'll have to take it kind of day by day. Right now with him, Sav, we're gonna work back in to practice a little bit today and just sort of get him progressed. So hopefully he's available.
Doug Peterson this morning, courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Well, my takeaway is a little optimism. All right, here we go. The Jaguars have more opportunities to turn this thing around with 15 games to go. But as we discussed and talked about earlier today in the show, watching Cam Robinson is indicative of what this team is really all about, to be quite honest with you. Lack of effort, lack of execution, lack of physicalness, and just a lack of mental prowess. So this team has got to get better in those areas if they want to improve.
Mm-hmm. My takeaway is the time's running out. The window is closing quickly here. You already, if the idea is you're going to need 10 wins, maybe 11 to win this division, right? Mm-hmm. You got to go 10-5 over the next 15. If you got to win 11, we all can do math, 11-4. Time is running out quickly. Oh, yeah. For anyone who says, it's only 2 games, you're out of your mind. The way the Texans are playing, no, it's got to start now. It can't start after a Bills loss or after a Bills and Texans loss. It's got to start now.
Yeah, I mentioned the number of 0-2 teams, and my takeaway is that you're taking away all the enthusiasm, the excitement that this football fan base had with the way this football team has started. And I hope for all of Duval that you'll be able to pull yourselves out of this. But when you're talking about the teams right now that are 0-2, Jacksonville has one of the better chances to prop themselves back up and get in a situation where they're not being looked at as losers once again. But if you're ranking 0-2 teams, you'd have to say Cincinnati played right to the hilt against Kansas City. Jacksonville could have won both of these games, right? We can agree on that. Mm-hmm. Can we agree on that? Even though Matt's got that,
I'm not going there, man.
Okay.
I give it to you.
I think they could, sure. But, you could say any team could say, we could have won that game.
Right. I'm just saying, we're talking 1-score games, a 5-point loss, and a 3-point loss. So you'd have to basically say.
Okay, I'm going to say this. Yes, they could have won those games, but would it also have been a situation where, much like last year, it was fool's gold?
Yeah. All right. So
because there's problems rotting underneath.
Right. Like, in other words, if they took the lead, would they have allowed Cleveland to come back some way, somehow, is what you're saying. So Cincinnati, would you put Cincinnati at the top of the 0-2 teams? Maybe. But I'd probably put Jacksonville right after Cincinnati at the top. Indianapolis, 0-2. I don't think as much hope right now as Jacksonville with the quarterback making the mistakes. New York Football Giants, certainly don't think they have as much hope. Tennessee Titans, no. Denver Broncos, not quite sure. How about the fact that they go to Pittsburgh and lose to Justin Fields and the Steelers? Steelers are 2-0 with Justin Fields as their quarterback.
Have they scored a touchdown? Probably not.
I don't know. Maybe one.
I guess the point is, other than the Bengals, everybody you've talked about, woof.
Exactly.
Well, the Ravens.
So the Jags are in that group, and the Ravens. All right, and the Ravens.
Yeah, and then the Ravens. I'm gonna put the Jags and the Ravens right there in the same pile. Mm-hmm. The other ones are the Rams, with injury are a little bit of a concern.
Yeah.
And then Carolina's all by themselves. Carolina has been outscored 73-13.
I think at some point you
Through
are.
2 games.
I think at some point you are what you are.
Okay.
And this team, after losing 8 of their last 9, is very close to being what you are.
Okay, Matt, 73-13, you are what you are.
Yeah, that's bad.
When you get beat by 5 and 3, one on the road, and both of them playoff teams, however you want to view them right now, both of them playoff teams, that's a little different. 73-13 versus a 5-point loss and a 3-point loss. So that's at least how you have to look at it. So if you're looking for any positives, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Jacksonville, you may rank them in some order right there as far as 0-2 teams.
Yeah, I will say this too, and we've been crushing them this week, and it's well deserved. But I will say this: if the team that played in the first half against the Finns, right,
in the second half against,
and a little bit of the second half against the Finns,
yeah,
and I'm not even talking about the Browns game. The Browns game's a wash. If the team that played that way against the Dolphins plays against the Bills, they can win that game.
Mm-hmm.
They can absolutely win that game. But look, every time you lose, and Leon, tell me if I'm wrong on this, every time you lose, man, that just cuts a little piece out of the team's soul. And it just more and more doubt leaks in, especially from what happened last year, right?
Yeah, because it has a snowball effect upon you. And that's what we saw in the Miami Dolphin game, which was very disheartening, the way they responded to it when ATN fumbled.
In the next 30 minutes of football,
collapsed.
It was,
yeah.
Yeah, they just imploded after that.
The next 30 minutes of football in Trevor Bank, in your house, after that stinging loss, and they did not show up. That's the scary part. I want you to hear what Eric Armstead said, and this is kind of what you have said before, and I just want to know if he's really going to get that leadership role and get into some guys' ears with his thought about being accountable. Here's what he had to say on his podcast.
My message to the team, it's not time to panic by any means. It's early in the season. We have an opportunity to do something special. Take a hard look in the mirror. No one is pointing any fingers because I can't control how so-and-so plays, nor can they control how I play out there. Each individual has to take accountability for themselves, look hard in the mirror. Were you a reason why we won this game, or were you a reason why we lost this game each week? And be hard on yourself. Just because your mistakes don't get magnified and talked about like somebody else's mistakes, those same mistakes, can decide wins and losses as well, too. Be hard on yourself.
I agree with him. I mean, he's basically saying, don't let you be the problem. Be accountable. Be hard. Take these games personally. Take every single Terry battle in the game personal. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what this team needs to do. A guy like him that's been on great 49er teams is the reason why he was brought here. When you're in these kind of situations, because that kind of leadership, speaks volumes, especially in the locker room.
Well, here's what scares me, because this is the second week where I've heard a player in this is being a podcast, but in their, media availability during the postgame say, oh, we're just going to point the finger at ourselves individually, and we're not going to point the blame to anybody else. Mitch Morse said it week 1 after the loss to the Miami Dolphins. How many weeks are we going to say, we're just going to point at ourselves and say, it's our fault. We could have done better individually. Like, at some point, Leon, does that get old?
Yes, it does. It does as a player. Because
you got to come over to the dark side. You have to. Sir, at some point, you got to come over to the dark side of players need to be criticized at some point, individually.
Yeah. Well,
by coaches.
Well, there were times when I was on this Jaguar team, and our offense was like rolling efficiently. Jimmy, Keenan, Fred, and our defense struggled, giving up a lot of points. And we would go on there and we would get on defense like, hey, bro, how many points we got to score? Can you stop them? Hey, listen, those kind of conversations. And then, of course, they would cuss at us and cuss for us. And then there would be a situation where the defense had and the offense struggled. And the defense would be like, hey, y'all can't score no points. We kept them on the 20. Yeah. Y'all can't get 21. So, I'm saying those back and forths in the locker room, on the sideline, they happen.
But TC wasn't afraid to call people out, right?
Well, TC wouldn't call people out. He would call out units.
I don't know. The careless disregard of the football.
But he didn't call him out.
We know who that is.
Exactly. It was the guy who fumbled. The guy who fumbled knew that.
TC would say, we can't block anybody. We knew exactly who he's talking about. He was talking about the unit. He would never say a person. He would say a unit. He would call out the unit for sure.
I'd even start for those baby steps. How about that? I'd love for Doug Pearson to stand at that podium and say, we can't block anything.
Yeah, I would like for him to say it with a little fit of rage.
Yeah.
I'll be all for it. He has
little Brian Kelly in him, pound the table a little bit.
Right. But for my money, he has criticized players. He just has done it in a loving way. And it's not Gus Bradley-ish yet, but
getting there.
But he's got inside those walls. He needs to be getting on fannies and saying, "Hey, get your act together."
Well, I mean, he could be telling assistants. I mean, it'll come across a lot better for the assistant coaches getting off. Is laying it into you.
Well, you know that you've described this before. Head coaches coach through coaches.
True.
They get on their coaches' butts, and then they get on the players' butts.
Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, I wouldn't mind a little bit of that.
Yeah. It
goes a long way. Trust me.
Yeah. Like I said, you don't need to coach angry. You don't need to coach with rage or anything like that. As long as you get the results, get the results out of these players and get them to play with a little more polish. And unnecessary penalties when you have a touchdown and you have an illegal shift call.
How about that? Effort.
Yeah. And the blocking.
Get him to play with a little effort.
Yeah. Get on Phil Rauscher's behind and say, look, you're getting my quarterback killed. You're getting this town's quarterback killed. Get your unit together.
What's the classic Vince Lombardi line from NFL Films? What the hell's going on out there?
What the Sam hell is going on around here? Straight out of Blazing Saddles. That's exactly what it was. But it's got to look cleaner. And that, like we said, we have seen other teams that started slow and made corrections from week 1 to week 2. And I use Atlanta as the best example. Atlanta really wasn't getting the ball to either Drake London or Pitts or whatever in week 1. They let 6 field goals beat them. They couldn't get it going. Then they go up on the road and meet a pretty talented bunch in Philadelphia, and they score in a matter of seconds to win that football game. They turned things around week 1 to week 2. Other teams did that as well, and so we'll figure out whether or not this team can do it. Bottom line is, you need a little fit and rage in that building, a guy who occasionally will get red-faced, you know what I mean? Just occasionally, like the embedded and shredded.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
Because I think when you get the red A, it ain't bad to get a red face.
I thought he was going to stand up and get after because there was no chair and he was going to hold the
I was thinking about it, but I was like, I'll sit down. I'll sit down.
The embedded.
I'll wait until they're 0-3 to start throwing things and standing up the whole time.
You can get a little red-faced on occasion. But I mentioned the number of teams, Hayes, that are 0-2, and there's a big pack of them.
Sure.
But Carolina being outscored 73-13, that's a hell of a lot worse than this team losing by 5 and losing by 3. But they're still both 0-2.
Still both 0-2, but certainly the Jaguars at least have some hope of turning it around. So do the Ravens. I think you look at them. You mentioned Cincinnati. Certainly with Joe Burrow, they're going to get T. Higgins back. And that's such a big – that's their identity is Burrow throwing to Chase and Higgins. So, that's the thing with the Jaguars. I'm intrigued to see if they do incorporate a little bit more tempo Monday night. Trevor was asked about it today. I really liked his comments on it. And it has often resulted in positive gains. I think you can trust this defense. If you do go up tempo and it doesn't work out for a sequence, obviously that doesn't give your defense a lot of time to make adjustments. But I like where they are, and they need to change things as it's obvious offensively. So I'd be all for it. Again, all hope is not lost yet. But they've got to get going. They've already burned a mulligan, and if you go to 0-3, you're burning another. And as Matt pointed out, you only have so many of these things. I mean, you've got to go right now. You've got to go 9-6 just to have a winning season, and that may not be enough to get you in. So yeah, it's getting late early here in Jacksonville, but again, plenty of time. Who knows? Maybe in the next 10 days they'll beat the Bills, beat the Texans, and we'll be sitting here at 2-2 thinking, well, I mean, heck, they may win the AFC. So it's a funny league. You just gotta make the improvements though. So we'll certainly focus on that coming up on the Frangie Show. We'll be joined by Greg McGarity to talk some college football from the Gator Bowl. We always enjoy that. And Rick Ballou is also going to join us to talk about FSU and can they finally get a win against Cal? 0-4. That's right. They might be looking at it 0-4. I mean, it's incredible, but
it is.
I mean, Cal could go in there and if Cal can score 20 points, they've got a great chance.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun coming up on the Frangie
All right,
Show.
Hayes, we appreciate it, man.
Thank you, guys.
I got a smile out of him. Nobody quite knows unless they're watching on YouTube, but I got a little bit of a smile out of Hayes right there at the end. All right, we're ready for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get a day closer to maybe getting a win, okay? That's what we're going to focus on. All right, we're done. We say thanks to all y'all for hanging out with us. If you're just tuning in, you're saying, wait a minute, XL Primetime thinks it's about to begin. No, we'll be back at 2 tomorrow. If you miss any of the show today, you can just go back, stream us. All you got to do is go to YouTube and find XL Primetime. We say thanks to Corona. Put a lime in it and enjoy some ball tonight. And the rest of the weekend gets started with a cold Corona. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy and RJ. Frangie Show coming up.
Yeah.